Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to week 7 of our art class. I'm really happy to see you again, and I wanted to go over what the purpose of our lesson is for this week and the following week, because we never finish things in just one day, right? No, we need to take our time so that we can put our best effort forward and be proud of everything that we do. So the purpose of this lesson is use of line, right? And line has different qualities. So the quality of line simply means how thick or thin your lines are going to be. How thick, how thin. And using line, and that when we use line, we create shape, right? So one visual arts element or an element of design is building upon another one, and they're like building blocks, right? So there are building blocks for art. Those are our artist tools that I always talk about, color and line and shape and texture, and those tools that allow us to put our ideas or our thoughts or our feelings onto paper. And that brings me to today's lesson. So right here, very, very super famous, probably the most famous of all abstract expressionist artists. You say, Jackson Pollock. Very good, boys and girls. Okay, Jackson Pollock was this artist who didn't want to paint portraits or still life of apples and fruits and vegetables and flowers. He wanted to express himself. He wanted to try to find a way to put his feelings on the canvas or on his paper. And the way that he was able to do that for himself and for the world, because us as viewers are also enjoying his artwork, was for him to take a canvas, very, very large canvas, and take paint and either paint on it like this with wide brush strokes and wide movements of his arms or legs, or using all of his parts, right? You can paint. There are artists that paint with their elbows. There are artists who have painted with their feet because they broke their hand, right? So the way that he did it was he either used the brush in his hand like that, or he was mostly known for throwing the paint. Now, I know that we don't all have paint in our houses. And if we did, we certainly would not want to throw paint around and make a huge mess, right? But his studio, his space, was designed by him for that. And so he was able to throw the paint, and if he was angry, he would throw it really hard, right? And if he was happy, maybe he would paint his lines, his curved lines, his straight lines. The quality of his lines, right, also made a big difference. That means the thinner his lines were, the more delicate or sweet or calm they seemed. And the wider and more bold his lines were, would maybe cause us to think, oh, maybe he felt very strongly about something that day, or maybe he felt a little frustrated that day that something wasn't working out correctly, right? And we've all had those feelings, and that's okay. We all have all of the feelings that are that exist, right? Because we're only human. So what I'm gonna try to do today is I'm gonna try to give you a little bit of everything and give you some choices so that you can decide what you wanna do with your artwork and your piece for the week, okay? So what we're gonna do is this. I'm going to play some music on this phone, and I want everybody to either take a crayon or a marker, and we're going to do this together. as we listen to the music. And the reason for the music is that, why? Who knows? Why would we be listening to music when we're talking about feelings and emotions? That's really great, boys and girls. I know that some of you out there were saying that you like to listen to music when you do your artwork, or music makes me feel happy, or when I'm sad, some songs make me more sad, right? That happens. That's because we're human beings, right? So what I want to do is I want to play dancing hands, okay? And so what we're going to do is I'm going to play the music, and as I play the music, you're going to move your hand however you want on your paper. Now, this example here I made a long time ago, and as you can see, it's a scribble, but it's a controlled scribble. That means I am controlling it. Let me show you. This right here is an uncontrolled scribble. I didn't really think about that. I didn't take time to listen to music. I was just allowing my hand to go in every which way, which kind of looks like Jackson Pollock's, right? Now, that's one way that you can do it. The other way is called a controlled scribble. Oops, I moved you, sorry. And a controlled scribble is when you take your time, I'll do it here. You take your time and you make your lines intentional. You choose the lines that you want to use and you do them on purpose. And notice, as your lines are crossing over one another, what are we creating here? If you said shape, you're correct. You are creating shapes. You are enclosing a space that creates a shape, whether it is a biomorphic shape or a geometric shape. It's still a shape, right? This right here, boys and girls, is a line. This is still a line. Let me show you a little larger here. Okay, let's start here. Here's a line. That's a straight line. Here's a curved line. Here is a curved line. It is still a line, right? Because it's open. But once I have enclosed it, now I have transformed it into a what? Very good, boys and girls. If you said a shape and the name is a circle, then you're correct. So there's a circle shape. Now what if I did that? I still enclosed it. I enclosed this space. I closed it up. So it is still a shape. This is now a shape. And it is a what kind of a shape? A what family? Very good. If you said biomorphic, because it doesn't have a name and it reminds us of something that we might find outdoors or of an animal or something that we find out in the environment, then you're right. Okay? So I'm taking some time to review line because the purpose of our lesson is to utilize lines. Now we're going to get to the fun part. So let's use Jackson Pollock as our inspiration, right? And now we're going to start our hand dancing. Okay, so here we go. Here's our paper. And these, I just have so much information to give you, boys and girls. So I'm sorry that I'm taking a long time, but, well, okay, I'll do that one after. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be here with you. Okay, so let's hand dance. Ready? Now, when the music plays, our hand is dancing. When I stop the music, we stop our hands. Okay? All right, ready? Let's try together. and stop. All right, now look, I want you to see that I almost covered my entire paper, right? And I was going pretty slowly. Some parts where I heard the music was going a little quicker in tempo, I moved my hand a little bit faster, right? And where the music was slowing down a little, I tried to have my hand dance to that music, right? So that is the idea behind this piece right here, okay? A more controlled scribble. I am crossing my lines over one another, and by doing so, I am transforming these lines and creating shapes. I'm making many, 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 many biomorphic shapes, right? And now those enclosed spaces may be filled in with color of whatever you choose, right? Okay, so let's do one more hand dancing, okay? And you can do as many as you want, and you can just pick your favorite one to add color for the next week, okay? And let's see, then I'll show you something else. Oh boy, oh boy. I apologize. All right, ready? So, let's get ready to hand dance, okay? And then when you're done, boys and girls, when you've filled up your page and it looks the way that you'd like it to look, then you could leave the music on. I'll leave the music on for you. We can add, you can start to add color if you like for this week. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but if you have time and you want to do it, you may. You can, as always, use markers and crayons or whatever materials you have available in your house. But that is one way that I like to introduce this lesson to everyone, is by line dancing. Hand dancing by using lines. And that was this example, using Jackson Pollock as our inspiration. And this way is a different way. So let me show you that right now. And that way you have a choice as to what you want to do with your piece for the week. So I'm gonna turn this around and I'm going to show you that my husband plays a little guitar. So right here in the background, I have his guitar. And I propped it up here so that you could see it. So we have this guitar, and as you can see, it has a long neck, and it has 6 strings, and it has a curved line for the body, for the contour or the outside part of this guitar. It also has a pick guard right here, and that is a, what kind of a shape, boys and girls? What kind? Very good. It is a biomorphic shape. Excellent. So this guitar I'm putting here back in the case so that you can look at it in case you don't have a guitar at home. But guess what? You don't have to use a guitar. My husband plays a little guitar, and that's why I've put this guitar propped up here so that you can take a look at it. It has a very long, straight neck, and it has 6 strings, some of which are thicker, so the line quality is thick, and then some are thin in line quality. The contour, or the outside outline of that guitar, is curved, using a curved line. And then that pick guard, that dark brown space right there, that looks like a shape. What kind of a shape? What family would it be in? Can't hear you. Oh, very good. Those of you who said it's a biomorphic shape, you're correct. And so we have this guitar to look at that I borrowed from my husband, and we can look at that in case you don't have an instrument at home. And you might have violins, pianos. I know some of you have keyboards and recorders and flutes and saxophones and all kinds of things. So if you play an instrument or you have a favorite instrument that you would like to look at, you can certainly get it from your house if you're able to, and just open it up and look at it. And by looking at it, you can start to make your lines to be abstract, like Jackson Pollock, right? It's not going to look exactly like your instrument, but the lines that you create might remind us of something. So in this piece, I was looking at, what instrument do you think? Remember, it's abstract. That means it doesn't look realistic, but the shapes, the lines, and the colors remind us of things, right? Abstract art allows us to see different things in the piece. So I will see something different than you will. Why? Because we are individuals, right? So it allows our imagination to run free and see whatever it is that we imagine we see in the abstract art. And so that is why this piece doesn't really look like a violin, but that's what I was looking at. And this piece right here, I was really looking at a what? I was really looking at a saxophone, but it doesn't really look like a saxophone. It's not very realistic. That's not how the keys go, but it gives us an idea, right? So that is what we are going to do if you would like to look at a guitar or look at any other instrument that you might have available to you at home. And if you don't have one, you don't have to. I am going to play the music again, and I'm going to let it run, and I'm going to play the music while I look at the guitar and make my line dancing resemble or somewhat look like an abstract guitar. Let's see what happens. I don't know. I haven't done this one, so. Are you ready? Okay, I'm excited. This is a big adventure, and I think I'm gonna use green and blue. Okay? All right. Let's get working, all right? Come along with me. And that, boys and girls, is how we are creating an abstract, expressionistic piece of artwork, right? We are expressing ourselves in an abstract way. We're not concerned about trying to make the artwork look exactly like what it is that we are viewing if we are looking at an instrument of any kind. So you are free to create your abstract piece this way, just allowing your hand to hand dance with the music and use the line to create enclosed spaces. Or you may look at an instrument and try to get inspiration from Jackson Pollock as well as from whatever instrument you might be enjoying to look at. And create those lines and use thick markers if you have and thin markers if you have, or even color pencils if you have those, crayons, whatever it is. Every single material has a different width, right? Some are thin, some are thicker, right? And that will give you the line quality that draws interest. It makes our eyes interested in looking at it. Some of these lines are very, very thin. Some of them are very bold and wide, and that makes it exciting for our eyes to view. So that is our lesson for this week, boys and girls. I have had so much fun with you, and I hope that you enjoy this lesson as much as I did, okay? And I'm looking forward to seeing your drawings, okay? Thanks a lot for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.